Yeah, well, and such, this is a legitimate question and this is a question that the government also poses, that if we don't control the temples, then who do you want to control the Hindu temples? Or, the way they say this is that, look, we have trusts, we have endowments, we have things that, once we relinquish that control, supposing that control goes into, bad hands. But that's the case with every business. That's the case with every private entity. I mean, that risk always holds. Are you going to say that because of that risk, I'm going to, be like a communist and control everything? That's unfair, because a Hindu temple, primarily the role is for, concretizing and making sure of a Hindu way of life, of making Hindu society more prosperous. And through by Hindu, I mean actually Indic as well, because like so many places of worship, we've seen Gurdwaras, they don't make any distinction between who goes there and eats. Hindus eat, Muslims eat, this thing. Likewise, Hindu temples also do a lot of charity. Tirupati does an enormous amount of charity. It's schools and colleges, they don't make any distinction that only Hindus should study there, or Hindus get reservations. Like, for example, in St. Stephen's College, Christians get 50% quota. I'm not aware if in Sri Venkateshwara College, Hindus get preferential treatment. I don't think they do. So, they work for India. And it's a wrong thing to use that as a stick. The fact that supposing it goes into the wrong hands. Well, number one, you should not be deciding or throwing in this kind of red herring, the government, I mean. And number two, it is my thesis, and as well as the thesis of Mr. T.R. Ramesh and Jay Saidipik and others, that it is already in wrong hands. Government hands are wrong hands. And I cite examples, I cite data that the temple, huge swathes, lakhs of acres of temple land that the government controls and sets rent on, it's getting only 1% of the rent that the temple should be getting. It's ridiculous. This is daylight robbery. Mr. T.R. Ramesh talks about 6,000 crores the temple should be getting. He talks about one in Tamil Nadu, and it's getting only less than 60 crores. So that 5,940 crores that the Hindu temples are losing, that is Hindu temple money. Now, what are bad hands? I would say the governments are bad hands. And a few readers have taken slight umbrage to the fact that I have treated Hindu temples as a company. Well, that was just for an argument's sake. I mean, I don't mean that it's like Reliance or things of that sort. It's like Arthur. But the fact remains that if you publicly list a Hindu temple, don't call it a company, but you publicly list, let's say, Tirupati, people start investing in it. The temple becomes richer. Temple will be able to give more, make more schools, and so this cycle is generated. So it was not to put down a temple and treat temple as a kind of a cardboard facade or a structure that is not emotional or not invested in God. No, it was just to show that if we walk along this path, that people, once again, the Hindus, some non-Hindus or Indians, Indics, everyone. Because let's remember that even Muslims, 99% of Muslims in India are civilizationally Hindus. Ghulam Nabi Azad has said so. So it's not just me saying it. Everyone invests in them, and a temple becomes richer, because right now, as I say, to the Madras High Court, it was the Tamil Nadu government that said that we control 11,999 temples, and they don't have enough money to conduct even one puja a day. This is the situation right now. And you should see, and Shefali Vaidya loves visiting Tamil Nadu and the temples there, and she's given some gorgeous images of unbelievable architecture of temples, but they're like rotting. But if those temples were to be listed publicly, and they would showcase themselves, make brochures of them, people would be interested in them, they invest, they put money in those temples. They don't have to beg the government for money. So I think if somebody else can give some other strategy, I would be very happy to learn of that. But this was my limited solution to this. Yeah.